Hello there and welcome to Sister Sister. It's another week and we're totally thrilled to come your way once again. My name is Jessica and this is your favorite all-women relationship talk show on 97.3 Citi FM and Citi TV. We're live in sub-Saharan Africa on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Today's show is brought to you by Vodafone, Together We Can, Talia Rice, Always Coming Home to Love, and Onga, Mama's Helping Hand. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into messages, we'll meet the ladies, and really, we'll just set this ball rolling. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And you're welcome back, Sister Sister, Citi TV, Citi FM. Right, so on today's show, we got quite a number of messages we're going to be attempting to go through because our messages are usually a lot. But before we get into all that, let me tell you how you can be part of the conversation because the show is interactive after all. Now, all you need to do is to send a WhatsApp to 054-998-6996 if you have a question, if you have a comment. If you just want to say hi, you can do that too. Alternatively, you can send questions to Jessica at citifmonline.com or find us on Facebook at Sister Sister Live. Like our page and join in on the conversations. Tonight in studio, I have two of my sisters. One will be joining us virtually from Berlin. So let me start from, in-house. Rosina on my left, Mansa on my right. Ladies, so good to see you.
Good to see you.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
The first time I saw you was on Zoom, but today you're in studio. Yeah. So it's nice to meet you personally, Mansa. Really good to see you.
Great.
I hope work and everything's going on well.
Managing.
Yeah.
Amid COVID.
I know.
Yeah.
That must be tricky though.
It is.
All good. But at least, life goes on. So some way, somehow, we're going to have to make things work.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Rosina's here. I love your outfit.
Thank you.
What's going on? What's the occasion?
Nothing. I'm just happy.
Yeah.
I'm just happy, that's all. I'm just happy, very excited.
That's great. Family's well?
Family's doing well. My colleagues at work are doing fantastic. And everybody's fine.
Good.
Yeah, everybody's fine.
Good. Let's move over to Berlin. Claudia is there. Hello, Claudia. Hello. Good to see you. What's happening?
You. How you doing?
I'm all right. Thanks for asking.
Good.
You guys are still in lockdown.
Yep.
How many months has it been?
It started 2nd December. And the last update is we are going to be in it until 30th June.
Whoa.
Yeah, but I'm getting my vaccine on 24th June, so I'm quite hopeful that
awesome.
At least I can mingle a bit with my mask after that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, I can't imagine. We did 2 weeks of lockdown and we almost died. Yeah, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't know how you're doing it, but yeah, I'm glad that you're able to make time for the show every single week. That's really cool. So thanks for joining us. We'll jump right into the messages, ladies, because everybody's waiting to hear from us. First message says, Sisters, I am a 27-year-old nurse in the Volta region, and I'm really sad about something that happened last week. I hung out with a male colleague of mine, and after that, we went to his place. We watched a movie, and when it was time for me to leave, he begged me to stay the night as he felt lonely. I decided to stay because I didn't think he'd harm me in any way. We were actually watching a movie, and all of a sudden, he started touching my thighs inappropriately. I pushed his hand, but he started touching them again. I told him I wasn't comfortable, but he told me to relax and that he wouldn't hurt me. I started getting scared. I stood up with the excuse that I wanted to use the bathroom, but he pushed me onto the sofa and started unbuttoning my blouse. I begged him to stop, but he wouldn't listen. He's well built, and I knew there was no way I could overpower him. Tears started rolling down my cheeks. There's a pub behind his house, and they often play loud music. Thus, I didn't waste my time to shout for help because I knew no one would hear me. He started begging me to allow him to have sex with me. I continued telling him no and kept pleading with him. He forced his way eventually and penetrated. When he was done, he had the guts to ask me why I was lying down like a log. I was so hurt and felt so ashamed that I ran out of his place. He's been calling me, but I don't pick up. I haven't returned his texts either. He claims he's sorry, but I can never forgive him. I feel dirty. I feel I'm to be blamed in a way. My question is, does what happened to me count as rape? What should I do about my situation? Hello, Mansa. Please, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this first.
I'm intrigued by this letter or this story. Because, one, if the guy is going to feel lonely, I mean, what is your business with him feeling lonely? In any case, before you came to him, he has always been feeling lonely. So there was no justification for her to stay in the first place, because that was the first point of call for her to stay. Like, she felt the guy was going to feel lonely. If he's going to feel lonely, that's his cup of tea. I mean, he has always been lonely. And if she is asking if this is rape, I don't know what her definition of rape is. Then maybe this is not rape, this is lovemaking. Because if someone forces you to unbutton your dress and force you to have sex with you, of course, this is rape. And the guy being his colleague, I think, one, okay, so she can talk to the HR manager about it, because, you know, women as we are, some of these issues affect us when it blows out there. Okay, so I would wish that she talks to the HR manager or their HR directorate about it. I mean, an elderly person with or the HR manager or director himself, and then discuss the situation with him or her. If the institution does not take it up to deal with the guy, then maybe he can also move on to like the police station or DOFSU or any of these institutes that deal with rape cases, because obviously the guy has raped her. It is shameful. It is it's a very sad thing. But I think the HR can manage the situation inwardly within the organization, because society usually judges us. What did you go there to do? That would be the first question. What did you go there to do? Yes, he's your colleague at work. What are you doing in his house? That is one. And then you went there. What were you wearing? Society will look at all these different dynamics and then judge you. And so if you don't take care, the response from the society or from outside alone will make you feel worse. And that is why I wouldn't want her to blow it out of proportion right away. But maybe she can route it through the HR, and then if the institute does not do anything about it, then maybe she can take it up.
Okay, Rosina, what do you think?
Along similar lines. The first thing is that she's 27. So I don't see how a 27-year-old person will think that sleeping overnight in the same house with a man would not, unless of course she doesn't see herself as beautiful, or she doesn't see herself as, attractive. That's the first thing. However, you see, there's something we call trust. When you're with your colleagues in the office, you think that, you know each other, you guys joke in the office, you have a different perspective of each other. You fail to see your colleague as a different gender. As far as you're concerned, he's my friend, she's my friend, and that's it. So when she went to visit him and then he said, stay over and everything, you felt that, let me stay over. Maybe it was wake up, watch movies, probably play a game or something, and that's all you were thinking. You were honestly clueless about what intentions he had. And this goes to say that sometimes people say that most men, when they are best friends with you, they're only waiting for the opportune time to actually, take advantage of you. They don't really, they're not really best friends with you, where they don't have any intimate feelings towards you. People say that a lot, and probably this is something that would validate something like that. Now, as to whether it's rape, it is rape. So far as it wasn't with your consent, it is rape. And like you said, being a nurse, I'm thinking that she's probably in a structured institution, because she's a student nurse, no?
Yeah.
So there should be a way of reporting to a principal or somebody that this person has done this for them to bring them to book. Secondly, because she's in the nursing field, what I would have expected her to do was that immediately get proof get some of your colleagues or even you yourself, take pictures with your phone with timestamp and everything, how the place looks like and everything. And even before then, I mean, the whole plea, I won't do it, stop it, all that. If you had a phone, you could have done a little recording here and there to prove your point. And then you present that to your school board or your HR or wherever it is that you are existing in, and then and see what they can do about it. Like you said, the ideal situation would be to be able to, take it up officially, maybe report it like a proper police case and everything, because the sad part is that you won't be his first victim and you won't be his last victim. He's going to do it to somebody else.
Probably
and he needs, he needs to be stopped. And the only way to stop it is to make it official and report it. But then again, you need to have a very thick skin. Like you said, instead of looking at the real essence of the game, even if I walked into your house naked, there's a reason why you see a mad woman on the road and you not rape the mad woman. There's a very good reason why you will not do that. You understand? And there's a very good reason why you probably see your sister naked and you would not, So even no matter what dress she wore to your house, it doesn't give you permission to rape her without her consent. So, but you need to have a thick skin, because these are the questions they will ask. Why were you there? You were sleeping overnight. Was he your boyfriend? Then what did you expect? What were you wearing? Where did you sleep? How did you sleep? Did you cook for him? Did you do this? So if you really want to take it up, it means that you need to develop that thick skin to be able to overcome it. But then again, even though we'll be taking one for the team, I mean, you would have to suffer, but then again, everybody will get to know that this is the kind of person this person is. And even if you don't get justice, what happens is that other women will be forewarned and will not find themselves in that situation.
Right. Claudia, if you could weigh in for us as well.
For me, I feel very sorry for her, because she was dealing with someone she trusted. And whether she went to the guy's house at 2 a.m., went in her panties or bra, is neither here nor there. It is not her fault. She was dealing, it is not her fault. It is an irresponsible man who couldn't control his desires. And the woman shouldn't be blamed in any way, whether it's your friend or you were colleagues. What are you doing in a man's house? That is immaterial to the case at hand. And sometimes we forget that when you are in the situation, your thinking is different from hindsight when you are sitting and reflecting on what happened. So what actually happened on the day, it might not even cross her mind to have recorded what went on. And especially when the guy took time to assure her that, I'm not going to do anything to you. And based on their relationship that they've built so far, he trusted him. So this whole idea of victim blaming is going to come, but she shouldn't let that get to her, and she should know that it is not her fault. Because you see, even if she went to the guy's house in panties, in underwear, they even started making out to the point of penetration, and she said, don't penetrate, and the guy penetrates, it is not her fault. Legally, it is the guy's fault. I mean, we all take precautions because we are in a society where there's this rampant and accepted rape culture where men get away with little things. People have not even educated themselves on consent. And that's why even after the act, he had the guts to ask her why she was acting up. He probably doesn't even know the boundaries of consent, because in our society, boys get away with it a lot. But now it's happened. So first of all, she's a medic. So I hope she's done the necessary test to see if she's not HIV positive, if she's taking pills, to see if the morning after pill, to check if she's not pregnant and deal with the medical side of it. And two, this is not an HR issue. This is a criminal issue. So for me, you are dealing with the police and you are giving notice to HR. What the organization chooses to do with them will depend on their grievance policy. That is neither here nor there, and it is not related to the criminal issue. So you first of all talk to the police, make a report, and we know how the police and dogs, they deal with these issues. There are so many blurred areas. You even have to pay for your rape. She can't even do a rape case because she's probably washed herself and she's lost the evidence. So to get evidence, this guy is now trying to talk to her. I would pick a call and try to get him to admit it. So have a conversation with him, like you're okay, you are cool, bring the subject up, and he will make a mistake and slip and say something about what happened that night. And then you can actually get him to admit it, and then this could be proof to back what you are saying. So that is also something that she can explore to get evidence. But please, 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 she shouldn't blame herself. It could have happened anywhere. She could have been in her house and a man would have broken in and raped her. Rape can happen to anybody. And from statistics, it is family and friends, our closest and trusted people, who end up taking advantage. So the blame game is going to happen. And I know Ghana, even when you have proof, they will say we want to hear from the man. So she should be ready with a thick skin and build a support system from her family. Even in her family, I'm sure people will blame her. Why did you go to the man's house? Because we have all this warped mentality about how a woman is supposed to keep herself so she doesn't tempt a man. It is never the man's fault. It is always the woman's fault. What were you wearing? Why were you in his house? Why are you in a man's house? You know they are playing music. You know the routine. Why would you go to a man's house? You can sleep with a man in the same hotel for the whole night and nothing would happen. It depends on the person's morals. So I don't blame her. She should make it a criminal issue. Get a strong support circle because people will come at her. They will punch holes in her story. And she needs psychological help. We always undermine the impact of trauma that comes with sexual violation. So I don't know the psychological or therapeutic systems that is available in the hospital, but she needs, first and foremost, psychological support. Family and friends, yes, they can offer, but she needs medical, because sometimes it can affect you in the future. You get married and this baggage is still behind you, the whole trust issue thing. So she should also prioritize seeking proper therapeutic help from an expert, in addition to the support system from her family. And just a heads up, she shouldn't expect support from anybody. The people you trust, I'm sure by now, will be the ones who will punch holes in your story and blame you for being in a man's house. Meanwhile, they all go to men's houses. But once you are in that situation, they will blame you before they support you. So, like it's already been mentioned, get a thick skin, but psychological help, it is a criminal issue. This is not an internal issue. Inform the police, get a report, and then make HR aware with the police report and what happened. I'm sure the hospital will also have their own issues, but the criminal procedure takes precedence. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think it's been well said. A couple of things for me, because in the story, did you ladies, any of you get the sense that she had been to the guy's house before?
Well, I didn't get that.
So reason why I think so is in this statement. I mean, and I'm saying, I'm not trying to victim blame. I just want to say something. It says there's a pub behind his house and they often play loud music. How does she know that?
Which means that she's been going there.
She's been going there. I'm coming to a point. What I'm trying to say is, sometimes there are telltale signs that can give you a clear indication of a guy's intentions way ahead of time. Like, there was one incident with me personally where random male friend says to me, hey, you, if I catch you, I don't joke with those things, though.
Yeah.
So if I know your intentions, why will I make myself available in a place with you alone? You feel me? Once again, even if that happens, it doesn't mean that like, oh, it's my fault and he deserves the right to rape me kind of thing. But I'm saying that perhaps there might have been red flags that she avoided or took for granted. Because in Ghana, like, we push a lot of things under the carpet, like, oh, hey, and they'll just be laughing it off.
Yeah.
I don't joke with those things. And if it's not funny, I'll tell you, like, dude, we're not even like that. And I'll make sure that we're not in the same space. You feel me?
And it's good you bring that up because you see, it's one thing dealing with the aftermath and who is right, who is wrong, and dealing. But I think that we need to, in our position,
I'm coming
also
to
educate women towards.
I agree. Some of these things.
Spotting some of these things.
True. There are always signs on the wall.
Positioning yourself in a certain way to avoid some of these things. So you don't even have to go to the.
I totally agree.
Level.
That being said, I also know some guys who have this as a modus operandi where it's in their head that if a woman says no, ignore the first time.
Yeah.
Try.
If you keep pushing, she will turn it to yes.
Yeah.
And so they don't hear anything.
they
and they're
actually-
going around
Yeah.
raping every single woman they go, like they have an encounter with. The women are just not speaking up. But there are a lot of guys who do this on a regular.
And I think that, you see, most of these guys, most of them tend to offer themselves as the shoulder to cry on,
Exactly.
the listening ear, so they win your trust.
Exactly.
You understand? So even there are times when even it doesn't even get so physically, it's like, no, I don't
No,
want
like they are
it.
the
No, I don't
go-to
want it. But then they,
person.
So I
The
think
go-to
that
person.
I think that a lot of women should be empowered more to be able to pick up some of these red flags
views, I agree.
and be bold enough
To talk about
to
them.
speak about. Look, listen, the fact that he's your only friend that you talk to, when he makes a comment like that, I don't see why you can't put him in his place.
Of
That
course,
look,
like,
hey.
it's not even that deep.
Or even if you don't want to put him in his place, don't worry. Just make a decision. Don't go there again, period.
That's all.
Yes.
You feel me? So I have two messages. One to the girl. Yes, of course, this is rape. Hands down. It's like, and it's a criminal case. So you decide how far you want to take it. We're not with you in your situation. Chances are, I mean, if this blows up, we may hear it in the news. I'm just saying. But that's as far as this goes, So weigh your options. See what you want to do. And then go all the way for it. But just remember that, Charlie, every single step of the way, chances are you will not get the support that you're looking for. So just keep that in mind. However, if it bothers you that much, make sure that guy is brought to book. Secondly, to guys out there, no means no. It doesn't matter whether it was a soft no, a shout, no, or just no. No means no. So like you guys should just stop this whole, oh, it's okay, it won't hurt. Oh, I'm just brushing nonsense. Like
Just the
guys,
tip.
Brush.
yeah, then things song. Like stop it. No, serious. It's not even funny. Like let's
Yeah,
stop
it's
it.
not. It's not.
If a woman does not want
Right.
sex, have the dignity. Let your ego, that ego you're always talking about, let it kick in. You get it? Let it kick in so you don't have to embarrass yourself like this. Like really? Why will you take advantage of it? The woman was crying. And you didn't think that was an indication that she didn't want to do what was about to happen.
Maybe he's a sadist. He was enjoying the
Oh,
whole.
Charlie.
No. But I think most of the time, most guys also feel because the no's tend to yes. Every no means a yes.
Yeah, but that's no means no.
You see, not all no's turn into yes.
Yes.
But, I mean,
Even
for the
if
most
99
part.
no's turn into yes, and there's one
One
no,
no,
which is a no,
Charlie,
it's a
no
no.
means no.
And listen, and it's better to err on the side of caution. So, for instance, she says no, you stop.
Yeah.
Let her come to you and say, oh, but I said no, but I didn't mean you should stop. I really wanted you to continue. Then that's your permission right there to
go
continue.
ahead. I feel you.
You understand? But the moment the person says no, your dignity, and how you think you can rape somebody and call yourself a man, I don't get it.
Charlie, messages, man. I need to calm down. Be careful. Echo, he said she's lying there like a log too, on top.
So what do you want her to do?
Lord.
Some chandelier?
Implies he actually didn't think he raped her.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That implies he actually, that's why I'm saying we need to educate them on consent, because most of them are very clueless about the boundaries. And this guy, anyway.
And they're leaving mental cases
He
around.
groomed her. You can see that he groomed her for the moment.
Yeah.
He built
Yeah.
the trust, groomed her, assured her. And she's like, all of a sudden, he made the move. So it means it had never happened. It took her by surprise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's bring in comments. Echo says, you got raped, sorry. Use his apology, text messages to make a police report. You might want to take some contraceptive pills and have an HIV test done as soon as possible. Dennis says, if it's less than 72 hours, that's 3 days. She should start an HIV test to prevent her from getting infected if he is positive. She should also take an emergency pill to prevent pregnancy. The next form of action depends on her and how far she wants it to go. She can report it to police for the law to take its course. If she doesn't want to do that, then she should put herself together and not allow this to ruin her happiness because it has already happened. The next time, she should be careful who she trusts and who she calls a friend. Adam says, age 27 and a nurse, but your mind is as small as a grain of a black seed. Well, I mean, Charlie. Yeah, this message is inappropriate. Selena says, that's rape. You clearly have evidence. Use his texts and lay report at the police station, answer his calls, record him, lure him, say all that he did in the recording. Hugs, dear. No one deserves to be mistreated. Nene says you've been raped and it's not your fault. He has been waiting all this while. Report it to the appropriate authorities and go to the hospital, please. Anonymous says, a full-grown man tells you he's lonely and you believed him? Has he not been sleeping in his room all alone all this while? If I should tell you that you brought this upon yourself, they'll come after me, but it's the truth. You should have been careful because these days we can't trust even our family members, not to think of a colleague who may have been crushing on you. Just forget it, move on, accept it as a mistake you've made in life. Never trust any man to the extent of spending a night in his room if you are not in a relationship together. Lord says you should have reported the incident the same night. For now, I'm not too sure if the doctors can trace anything. And finally, another message here says, it's very disheartening when you hear this inhumane development. Why would you allow that when you know definitely there's nothing going on between both of you? Shaking my head. And I don't mean to hit a nerve, but how can a lady of her status have no idea of what counts as rape? It was out of your will. Therefore, it is rape. Okay, so it was against your will, and therefore it is rape. It needs to be reported only if the said institutions will be keen to help you. Well, your comments are still welcome on 054 998 6996. We'll go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. And you're welcome back, Sister, on Citi TV and Citi FM. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, you can also send an email ahead of time or, during the show to Jessica at citifmonline.com. Next message from someone who calls himself Worried Kwame. Now, he says, hi, sisters. I'm a junior pastor, got married 5 months ago. After the wedding reception, an old school mate who is rumored to be involved in internet fraud handed me an envelope containing $2,000. But I respectfully rejected it because I felt the money wasn't clean. He was very surprised. After all this happened in the presence of my wife, when I got home, she asked me why I refused the gift, because if I truly felt that the money wasn't clean, I could have just prayed over it. And besides, it's not cool to reject a wedding gift. Fast forward. We're in a bit of a financial fix, and she's blaming me, saying that the money I rejected some months ago could have been of great help. Can you believe she hasn't allowed me to touch her for a month now? Did I do the wrong thing? Did he do the wrong thing?
Obviously not.
Rosina.
Obviously not. I mean, when it comes to morality and your beliefs and all of that, it's important to... Because when you see, the person is into all of these things, right? And then in your estimation, you feel like whatever the person is giving you is a proceeds of what he's been doing. So which means that it puts you in a position where you can't even speak against it. Because when you speak against it, but when I brought you the money, you enjoyed the bank, you've chopped the money right now. You are saying that the money is unclean. You are saying that my job is unclean. So I think he wants to be able to have that mindset. Now, it's a difference if you didn't know about it and you collected it and you used it. That's different. You did not know. But once you know, it's like somebody is involved in armed robbery. The person has brought you something. You know the person has killed somebody in order to bring you something. Question is, would you willingly want to be part of that? How can you enjoy that? Now, it's surprising me that as a wife, very early in the marriage, you should, I don't know, unless of course your marriage was, I don't know, you guys didn't talk, you guys were not on, I don't know, I'm not getting the whole vibe, the whole thing, you understand? Because this is something that both you and your husband, I'm thinking, should sort of be on the same wavelength on. And even if you're on different wavelengths, it depends on how you communicate it. If you're able to tell your wife that, look, babes, I know that we need money. I mean, $2,000 will do a lot for us, but this is tainted money. And as a pastor, because of who I am and what I stand for, I think that it would be morally wrong or to be very unethical to take monies of that nature, knowing that, this is the proceeds of the money. And and also for mommy, I'm thinking that she should be able to see the spiritual angles of that. If she's not able to see that, then I'm thinking that both of you are on different spiritual levels.
But she saw the angle. She said you should take care and pray over it.
Okay, that's also another thing. You see,
anoint it with oil.
You see, that's also another thing. The thing is that if it comes to wedding gifts, sometimes somebody would say because it's a gift, it wasn't requested, it wasn't asked for, you know. But the thing is, some of these things, it borders on, because there are some people today in Ghana, if they give me money, no matter how broke I am, I will not take it. It's not even for spiritual reasons.
Right.
I just won't take it because I want nothing to do with you. So if you give me anything, no matter what it is you are giving me, I will not take it. Because I wouldn't want to live and wake up the next day thinking that with all your nyoma, no, you've given me something and I've taken it. No, there are people that are like, well, yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
So everybody has a standpoint when it comes to some of these things. And the question is that for $2,000, do you want to compromise your sanity? Do you want to compromise your mental health? Do you want to compromise do you want to judge your stance with God, your stance to be able to stand in front of a church and propagate certain things? Do you want to go through all that process? You see, but I think that you should take your wife along with it. Maybe let your wife know that, well, you could have prayed about it if you didn't know and then you found out after you had collected it. However, you knew and you didn't want the person, or maybe you could even, maybe it's possible that the character of that person, you know that person's character so well and you know what he can use that gift to do or request for in the future. And that's why you don't want to even be in the mix. So maybe you should break things down for her a little bit and let her understand. As for the 1 month without, she now should start calling for. But I think that, I don't know, most things when it comes to certain things, maybe it should be a joint decision anyway. Even to return it, I think that you should at least have some form of a convo with her since you've just gotten married and the gift was for both of you. So maybe the only thing I would say is that maybe you should have consulted with her and both of you should have rejected it jointly so both of you have a unified front as far as third parties are concerned. Or you could have collected it and not even used it and put it back into the church or given it for charity or done something with it. So, I mean, it's neither here nor there. I mean, things that border on spirituality and religion and beliefs, really, I move away from having a clear standpoint. It depends on how it makes you feel.
Yeah, really. It can get tricky.
Yeah.
Claudia, let me bring you in here. Oh, what do you think?
I think this one is very simple. Rosina has sort of summarized it beautifully. But I'm thinking he obviously married a woman that he has very different value systems with. So although they are Christians, I don't think they're even on the same level of spirituality because this shouldn't even be up for discussion. It's different when you don't know. Ignorance of the law, they are going to prosecute you for it. And how much more when you know. And even if we are to go, he's a pastor. And the Bible even says when you know it's a sin and you do it, you'll be judged for it. So the fact that this is even an issue and is a source of conflict, I'm worried for him. He needs to evangelize more to his wife than to the church because he has a very big problem in his house. Also, for Mami Opesa, he's in big trouble. He is in big, because you know, the love of money is the root of all evil. And you have a wife who is able to tell you that I am going to deny you sex because you didn't take money from ill-gotten wealth. Like
because of $2,000, give the value.
You see, poverty is such a bastard. This is what you see. A whole osofomami because of $2,000, you lost all your values. How can you go and preach to someone not to fornicate, not to murder, not to kill, when you yourself, you've seen that the money is not appropriate, it is ill-gotten wealth, and you are not even sleeping, you are punishing your husband with sex in the honeymoon stage. And I'm thinking they didn't even have sex before marriage, so the guy was really looking forward to it.
Oh, then he has a lot of pent up energy.
You know, and also for wants to, you see, being a man of God is a calling, and you need a pillar to support you in your walk. I really, really worry for him because this shouldn't even be. You don't even have to consult your wife about this because you know that as a Christian, it is ill-gotten wealth. So even if I'm going to discuss it with Madam, I am assuming that because we are all saved, Madam will say, don't take it. So So I don't really blame him for not even discussing it, because sometimes we make assumptions when we deal with people. So he has come to that point, oh, my wife did. She has a clear mind, she has a clear conscience. She won't even allow this money to come and taint our offering. We are starting our life, come and taint our life with all this money, and now you can't even criticize him after you've taken his money. You are in an awkward position. Madam needs deliverance. Seriously.
All right, so Mansa, I mean, to be fair, they said rumored.
That is where I'm coming to.
So
because you see,
like rumored. So an old schoolmate who is rumored to be involved in internet fraud.
This is not an established fact. This is rumored. It's a rumor. So it could be true, it could not be true. So first of all, I think Kwame, he was being childish. Because this is some cool 2000K.
This is the
right Osofomami. Yes,
this is some cool 2000K, you know. Because listen, it is rumor. It is not a fact. It has not been proven.
I'm sure his conscience.
You see, I think there's rumor there. My thing is that, see, you know, you have some friends, when they rumor that this friend is into this, you lie, it's impossible. Some friends too, when they rumor, no, even though you haven't seen with your own eyes, you think that Charlie, you can you put 1 + 1 + 1 together, then you hit 7. You say, no, this guy is suspect. You understand? So I think that, well,
but for me, I still stand by this, that once it is not established that the guy is into internet fraud and it's a rumor, I mean, a gift is a gift. You can take it, pray over it, sanctify it, and money is meant to be used, my sister.
I agree.
Thank you.
No, I agree. What is anointing oil for?
What do we even use to buy anointing oil?
Yeah, I mean, see.
you use the money to buy.
Exactly.
You can cast, you can bind, you can anoint, you can sanctify,
you can
chop
break
the money.
You can break and chop the money.
See, the way COVID has devastated
You cannot
homes.
give small money chance. So.
See, me, it's not even about the spiritual, like I said. Like there are some people, see, for reasons
understand.
untold, you just don't want anything. So
We
for all you know,
understand.
this rumor cries an excuse to character, because of maybe the character of the friend.
He knows his friend.
Yeah, he knows his friend. The character of his friend topped up with the rumor which is associated with his character. So sometimes it's because, you see, there are people who know people. There are pastors who probably know people who are into these things, but they would accept things from them because they know that, or even though they are doing all of these things, they channel it into good things for the society and everything. So they even intentionally sort of overlook it and look at the greater good, like a Robin Hood kind of system, you understand? But there are some too, see, the character of the human beings, you know, the
thing just doesn't add up.
Charlie, there are some people that when they give you when they give you 100 Ghana, you know that they are bringing you 100 Ghana of problems.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
For also food to refuse money.
Yeah, because Osofo is all about collection. You understand? The collection.
No, but you see, it's not all of them.
I know it's not all of them, but
So
the idea of giving, because you see, especially those who go into very strong pastoral work, you realize that most of them do not do regular work.
Yes.
So you realize that even though they are spiritual and everything, that is also where they eat from.
Yeah.
So they don't joke around with, let's say, things that small monies that come in either for themselves or even for the church. Yeah. You understand? So for a pastor to reject money, $2,000, I'm thinking that, look, there's even more to it than that. It's possible that he doesn't want to tell the wife that this my friend has done this, has done this, has done that, or he's like this, or he's like that.
And I also don't want to link it with their current situation, because he could have taken it, used it, or used it for something else, and this situation would have still be following.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. The money will get finished.
Exactly.
2,000
so
is
I do not want to link.
It's not $2 million. Even $2 million
You understand?
It depends on who's chopping it.
It depends on who is chopping it.
No, but let's talk about the fact that she's denying him sex, using sex as a weapon. That's unfortunate.
That's I think it's a no-no in every marriage.
You shouldn't do that, right?
I think that sex should not be used as a tool to go. You see, I keep saying that sex, if it's great, but if it's horrible or these things happen, it takes away a lot. Now, the moment you use sex as a tool for denial, in the beginning, he might worry, but the time is going to come when he starts channeling all his emotions, his waste emotions into prayer and kabe. And now you want to do the sokwe, he says that I'm in the spiritual realm, you will not be suffering. And because you see, don't use sex as a punish, like, to punish, as a tool to punish a partner. No, you shouldn't. In actual fact, if anything at all, after you've communicated, spoken about the thing, and you guys are on the, okay page, and you're in that shakara mode, it is the sex that finally
brings the
then all of a sudden you start you that thing that you did, and then you get back to normal mood. You understand? So that is the final. You see, after the apologies, we've spoken now. We are sorry. That is that's the final. And those ones are usually very those one, you know what I mean?
We don't know what it is.
Very
explain.
Very. They are very distinct. So you understand. So I think that using sex as a tool to punish your partner is a no-no. It is a no-no, because see, when he starts getting if you're lucky he's a pastor, but even if he's a pastor, there are pastors who go outside. If he starts going outside
he's a human being.
You now say that
anointing definition.
But so also what can be?
Right, okay. Well, it's Sister. We're on Citi TV and Citi FM. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back. And you're welcome back, Sister, on Citi TV and Citi FM. Remember our WhatsApp number 054-998-6996. Let's hear your thoughts on any of the messages you've heard on the show today. I'll go into my... another one here. It says, sisters, I have this amazing girlfriend. We've known each other for almost 15 years. Our relationship started in a form of newcomers in the same school, classmates, then friends, then best friends. Now we're lovers. As lovers, we share the same values and religious beliefs as well. We decided no sex until marriage and have been able to follow through up until now. A few weeks ago, my girlfriend felt we should have sex, but I brushed the idea aside until I gave it a thought. When I finally agreed that we should, she seemed reluctant, so I didn't push further. 2 weeks ago, she came home from work and told me she thinks sex is overrated because her married friends are running away from their husbands because of sex. Sometimes I feel she has some fear for sex, or there's something she's not telling me. I've tried talking to her about it, but I am not certain what her problem is. As ladies, can you help me with what possibly could be her worry, or if I am the problem? Because I'm confused. Claudia, coming to you.
Well, I don't think he's the problem. And for me, a lot of things are going through my mind. So first of all, she's an amazing girlfriend. So I want to assume that there's that sexual attraction. And she suggested you have sex. You said no. What if she went to try it and she's realized the thing now, they be like, I'm not even interested anymore. So there's also that I feel perhaps it's not her married friends running away from it. It's perhaps maybe she went to try and she's realized, and she can't even admit that she's going to try. So there's also that part of my brain that is thinking she probably went to try and she didn't like it. But if we are giving her the benefit of the doubt and her friends are advising her, this is negative peer advice. And to tackle negative peer advice, the only way is to get expert advice. I wouldn't even advise her to go to the church to seek sexual advice, because it's always couched in a way to favor men. So to see an expert. But we also need to understand that it is absolutely normal, and we have people in the world who don't have sexual desires. These are asexual people. So we need to establish if she's an asexual person or it's just low libido. And that will also be a way for her to treat herself. If it's low libido, maybe it's a hormonal fluctuation or she just doesn't have the desire, that's a medical issue. If it's asexual, that is counseling. She has to sit down and speak to herself, understand her sexuality, explore her body in order to ascertain if it's the guy he's not attracted to or if it's people in general that she's not attracted to. But for me, he can't tackle this on behalf of her. It's a conversation the two of them have to have. And to us, I don't think she's even going to admit that it's him that she's not attracted to, because we've not even tried it, so you can't even ascertain it. So it's a very complicated conversation. And for me, I suspect it's either she has these sexual attraction issues, which is asexual, which is rarely discussed in our society. People don't even believe there are people who exist who have those conditions. So they need to have layers and layers and layers of conversation. But the bit about her listening to her friends, that's also a bit tricky, because that's someone using her experience to advise you, and you taking it as holy grail and running with it. She would need to be spoken to and assured. But this, for me, I think she has to sit and discover her body to understand if it's just a guy, or it's guys in general, or is maybe her friends are right, and that would need counseling, because then it becomes a health issue that would have to be treated before they can get married. So it's not as simple as he presents it. It's very complicated and layered, and we need series of conversations. But it is not his duty to heal her or to cure her. She has to come to this realization herself and have an honest conversation at couples level. That's what I think. Yeah.
All right, Mansa, what do you think?
Yeah, because I think, I don't know what the girl has been listening to, what she's been watching, what she's been hearing. But as Claudia said, she needs to explore her body. It could be that she may have experienced some issues in her childhood days. Maybe she may have been raped. She may have had issues with men. And then growing up, the kind of conversations she's had with her friends in relation to sex. And so I think it goes beyond just him as a boyfriend. I think she needs counseling. She needs to speak with a professional, and then needs to know the kind of person she is dating. I think the girl herself needs to discover herself, as in who she is. As she said, if she is asexual, if she is not attracted to this particular man, or it is this particular man that is the problem, or the dynamics are many, and I think the guy needs to help her. It's not just about him and her. It transcends the two of them. It goes beyond that, and then I think a psychological counseling may be a good starting point. Yeah.
Rosie, you have the final word.
Yeah, I think that I want to look at the 15 years of knowing each other. I think that sometimes when you know somebody for so long and you fought the edge to not be intimate, you sort of put that intimacy in the background so that you don't commit the quote-unquote sin of fornication. You understand? So initially, we will be attracted to each other. That's how come you had the discussion, for instance, to not have sex till you guys got married, because both of you probably had the edge and you told yourselves that, look, let's do it right. Let's wait till we get married. So in order to do that, both of you started doing things so that you don't put yourself in that situation. So as time went on, that level of intimacy or having sex became not important. So you've not really had the opportunity to probably discuss with him and to probably decide what you like or don't like. So it's pretty foreign to you. It's possible that now they are seeing that the end is nigh, as in the opportunity or the time that they're going to actually have sex is getting very close. And she says that her friend, singular, so I'm thinking that she probably has a very good friend who is running away from her husband because of sex. Now, why is the friend running away from the husband because of sex? Is it that it's not too good? Is that the member is too big? Like, what is it? What is the story here? Now, for her to come up and say, let's do it, I'm thinking that because of what the friend has said, she wants to experience it to see whether it's what the friend's saying true or not. But the truth here is that sex is different for everybody. So your experience, even with the same person, is very different. Like, for instance, if I had an experience with a man sexually and the same me has an experience with a different man, you realize that the two experiences most likely will be totally different. Because especially when it comes to women, sex is more of a mental game. So if she's really into this man, she's really in love with this man, she's been waiting for that moment, a moment that she cherishes. Her mental, emotional game is like 60%, 70%, the sex is already good. It only becomes a disaster if she's confronted with a 2-inch or a 12-inch.
0.5.
I would say, yeah, it's a 2-inch or a 12-inch. Then you can say that this is a shared disaster. But if it's a healthy, and a healthy performer, and somebody who will pay attention to you, not just get in and then ramp it all in, but will pay attention to you, realize that you might probably even enjoy it more than your friend's experience with her husband, because your stories are very different. So I think that what she needs to do is to settle down. It's like she thinks that they're almost getting married, they're almost settling. So she's all of a sudden thinking that, oh, my friend has been married for 3 years, so she's getting all the apport from there. But the thing is that, trust me, there are married people who are been living for years, and they've never even, like the ladies especially, have never even experienced climax. And they are still there. Yeah. So if you're taking advice from such a person, what advice are you taking? I mean, there are some too, so such a person, you take advice from that person, you think that, oh, it's heaven, and maybe you are in between. So sometimes this is what you need to do. You need to read. Read wide. Get onto the internet. There's a lot of information available there, and like Claudia said, a lot of people speak against exploring yourself and then, knowing what takes for you. But once you are getting there, I think you should start learning you should know which part of your body responds to what. And to start with, you can start talking about it with him and see whether some of these things, it settles well with him. I mean, broach the topics about oral sex. You don't want a situation where say, hey, please, this is a weapon of mass destruction. We don't want anybody to come and sit on it and break it, And this one to say, no, please, so I can't allow you to look inside. No. So you should broach such topics when you're discussing, then both of you the kind of appetite that you have when it comes to that.
I think she has put a guy in a friend zone, kind of.
Yeah, sort of. Because so they've been out, and that's the disadvantage with dating for too long.
Yeah.
Because there are stages, as soon as you start dating and it gets to a certain phase, you need to move to the next level. The moment you stay too long, you sort of like plateau. It's like you are just there. There's no excitement, there's nothing. And if you're not careful, it's a dip. So the 15 years, I think, is the bigger problem. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not going to add more to it because unfortunately we're out of time. But thank you very much, Claudia, for joining us from Berlin. I know it's a little later on your end, but we appreciate your audience every time. And of course, Rosina, Mansa, it's good to see you in person.
Mansa also for my
Yes. And of course, to our sponsors, Vodafone, Together We Can, Talia Rice, Always Coming Home to Love, and Onga, Mama's Helping Hand. My name is Jessica. We'll be back same time next week.